Hi everyone, welcome to Reviewia Talks. So today we are actually going to give the series a little bit of a spin. Rather than having a guest, in today's episode, I'm going to talk about certain best practices when it comes to building a resume. Now, I'm sure this is something that every candidate thinks about. He or she would have certain questions, in her mind when each one of you go about building your resume. Now, some of the fundamental questions that come up is the most fundamental rather is how long should be my resume. Some of the other questions that come up are can I outsource this to one of these providers who do resume writing, or do I have to do it on my own, because typically it is a fairly boring exercise and I might not be the best person to make a pretty resume. That's a lot of people's concern. The other thing that bothers people is what kind of format should we follow, where can we get some good formats, what is the in thing when it comes to the format of the resume. So today I'm going to talk about these things. Hopefully few of these questions would get answered by this short session of mine. First, let's come to the length of the resume. One page. Yes, one page is what you have. Even if you are a senior vice president, you have 20 years of experience, you have a plethora of achievements and accomplishments, lots of stuff that you want to write about, you still have only one page. Reason? You don't build your resume for yourself. You build your resume to get shortlisted for a suitable role, and the shortlisting is being done by a recruiter. A recruiter who scans through at least 40 to 50 to 100 resumes in a day. And roughly, the recruiter would give about 10 to 20 seconds to your resume. So unless it is compact and it speaks very, very directly about who you are, what your strengths are, what is your profile like, chances are that you will end up confusing the recruiter. Okay. So ensure that your resume is only one page. So that's about the length of the resume. Second question is, okay, can I just engage one of these resume writers to do my job? Sure, you can, but fundamentally, it is your story, it is your career. You have gone through the hard yards of these many years of work. If you are an experienced candidate, or if you're a fresher, it is your career that you want to build. Nobody knows as well as you do about your interests, your skills, your accomplishments during your academic career, etc., etc. So just a simple brief to a resume writer who might be doing this in a very templatized manner might not bring about the desired outcome. So even if you so-called outsource this task to a resume writer, rest assured that you would have to spend a lot of time going through many iterations before the output is what you really are looking for. So be mentally prepared either to do it on your own or spend some money, engage a resume writer, but still spend a lot of time with the resume writer to get the kind of resume that you want. Format, it has to be neat. There is no one size fit all. There are lots of lovely formats that you will get on the web. You just simply have to do a Google search. Some of the formats are anyways available on our website, reviewia.co. But again, I'm not here to promote the templates which are there on my website. You can go with any clean format that you find on the net. I am more interested about telling you what should be the flow of your resume. Now, if you have done 3 or 4 roles, let's say if you're somebody who has 5, 7, 15 years of work experience, and you have done 3 or 4 kind of roles, ensure that your summary statement highlights the latest skills more. So let's say if you have done operations at the start of your career, and now for the last 3-4 years you are doing transformation or consulting, chances are that now you're looking for a transformation or consulting focused role. So ensure that transformation or consulting is highlighted sufficiently right at the top of your resume. Now, the summary section is the game changer. Your summary has to speak very, very clearly about what your expertise are. And if that resonates well with what the recruiter is looking for, chances are that you will get a shortlist. Okay. Apart from that, what should you highlight? You should definitely look at highlighting your core skills a little more. If you mentioned consulting or transformation as your core skill in your summary, ensure that the follow-up lines or paragraphs kind of expand a little about what your expertise are, what kind of projects have you done, even within consulting or transformation, what do you specialize in? You need to expand a little. Stay away from using very technical jargons and abbreviations. Chances are that a recruiter would not be from your industry or from your trade. Hence, chances of understanding these jargons and abbreviations are very less, for a recruiter. So keep it simple. Do not use abbreviations which might sound very obvious to you. Try to stay away from them, right? That will ensure that people are able to fully understand what you're talking about. The other thing that people, talk about or ask about is, hey, I am a top school engineer or a top school MBA. Should I not highlight it? Sure, you should. You must highlight, if it is a really, really big differentiator when it comes to academic qualifications. But again, don't go overboard, especially if you are somebody who is experienced, who has 5, 7, 10 years of experience. Your academic qualifications are just the basic qualifier, but that will not be a game changer when you're looking for a mid management or senior management role. But ensure that yes, it is visible, and be proud of your scholastic or academic accomplishments. But again, there are certain resumes who highlight part-time programs from top colleges, and they highlight them right up front, right on top, and then the recruiter kind of gets misguided. If that happens, the recruiter might end up calling you, but the moment he or she would get to know that it is a part-time program and not a full-time program, not a flagship program, chances are that your candidature would not move forward if that is a hard spec for that role requirement. So ensure that you appropriately highlight your educational qualifications and don't go overboard with them. Okay. So this pretty much sums up and ends this short episode of ours. One page resume, build it on your own. Try to avoid jargons. Use any decent looking format that you find on the net. Highlight your academic qualifications appropriately. Don't go overboard. And finally, when it comes to highlighting your achievements, use some context. Okay, don't highlight points like, hey, I was the school team captain for my football team. That might not be very, very relevant at this stage of your career. And if there is no real differentiating achievement, then leave it blank. You don't necessarily have to put something which doesn't add value. Okay, so use some of your discretion and context when you're mentioning achievements and stuff like that on your resume, and it need not have to be there. If you think that it is not adding value, you should just not have that section on your resume. So again, I am summarizing. Length of the resume, 1 page. Should you build the resume on your own? My recommendation is yes, you should, rather than outsourcing it to a resume writer. Any format that you find appropriate on the net, please use it. Summary is very, very important. Follow up the summary with appropriate expansion of the areas of expertise that you have. Academic qualifications and achievements, highlight them appropriately. That's it. I hope this was a useful, quick little episode from our end. Thank you so much and have a good day.